I think it's easier to say I have tawakkul than believing it, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we're so unsure about something and
but you just
we forget that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is right next to us. Like, you know, he's there when we call him.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing where it's just like people would disappoint you.
Yeah.
And that's normal. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put something in your heart, he put it in your heart for a reason. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to another episode of the Cultured Voices podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Fatima Muhammad, and today I have with me Bilan Kasim. How are you, Bilan?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah.
Lovely to be back.
You look so pretty, mashallah.
Thank you so much.
As always.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
You're always welcome. You could come anytime, any day.
I might be here like every other month then.
We would love that. So, I wanted to remind you guys to go ahead and subscribe before the conversation starts, inshallah.
Of course.
And hopefully you'll enjoy the conversation because we're just getting to know Bilan and what her life has been about, her journey through entrepreneurship and all that good stuff. So Bilan, can you introduce yourself?
All right, let me introduce myself. My name is Bilan Kasim. I am a professional chef, founder of Mode Café and Café Cassia. I am a lifestyle content creator, I would say. Love to travel. And yeah, that's a bit about me.
That's girl, you are doing a lot. MashaAllah. How is it
I
juggling
keep myself
all
busy.
That? How is it juggling all that?
It's been good so far. So far, I've got a really good routine. I'm good at delegating.
I love that.
So I don't like to put a lot of pressure on myself. So
you know,
that's been great.
actually, a lot of entrepreneurs have that. Like, you know, that's not something that they have like gotten down with.
Delegating,
Yeah,
right?
delegating.
Because I don't get the point of having staff if you're not going to actually let them do their job.
I love that.
How do you know they're going to perform if you're going to be burdening them 24/7?
I think it's because like there's somebody I was talking to the other day and we're talking about how a lot of entrepreneurs, they like their businesses are like their little babies and they make it so personally to them.
Yeah.
So they like to, you know, like cuddle them and like they want to do everything and they like their perfectionism like kind of comes out.
No, I get it. I feel like I was like that when I first started off. I was just like, you know, I want it exactly the way I've envisioned it. I want it done like this. But later on, you have to realize like your business is not only just about you. It's about your customers and what's good for your customers as well. Like you want your brand to grow. So as much as someone can start off as like, you know, the business out of passion. You know, it's gonna have to be beyond passion.
It needs to run on its own.
It needs to run on its own. You're gonna burn out if you're
really
there
that's
all
why
the time
a lot of
doing
entrepreneurs
everything.
like stop after a while because it's of the burnout. I
You
think.
can't, you know, like it's better to always like, what is it called again? Sorry.
Delegating.
Delegate. It's always better to delegate rather than always hovering over or just like not letting your employees do their job. Because if you delegate, there's a lot of burden that's not on you. At least they get to do that and you get to be more creative and you get to oversee everything.
Because I think there's a lot of what is it called? There's a lot of like, you know, players in the business. So you need to let everybody do their own thing so that you can do the CEO work. Right?
And sometimes when you're an entrepreneur, you don't know how to be a CEO. Because you're trying to do everything at the same time and that's like pretty hard, isn't it?
Okay, what does the CEO do?
The CEO is there to direct everyone.
Oh, okay.
Right? If you're a managing director, you're there to direct. Okay, what's your direction? What's the vision? Your team needs to know what your vision is because you just can't keep it and just be like, keep them out of the loop and think, you know what, they're going to understand. They need to just do their job. Your team needs to believe in your dream and your goal and, you know, where your company is going.
That makes sense. I think a lot of people don't really know how to do that.
They don't know how to do that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
girl,
true.
we can talk about that so long. So I want to understand, let's like, you know, go back a little. I want to understand where, like, who was Bilan before Bilan became this, like, you know, the CEO and the entrepreneur. So tell me about your background.
Before I made my life public.
Tell us about your background.
My background. Okay, I'm a pastry chef. I studied at Le Cordon Bleu in London. And I got to work in a bakery for a couple of years. And that was amazing. That was a good time. And then COVID happened. And I moved back to Kenya. A lot of people think, I'm new to the country. I'm not new to the country, guys. I went to school here.
And guys, she speaks Swahili.
I speak Swahili. Although you guys say I speak Swahili with an English accent, but it's okay. Still there. Yeah, so my family's been here for a really long time. And both my parents are entrepreneurs. That's how I became an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
They've always encouraged me to be one. And alhamdulillah, yeah.
Was that always the vision, even when you went to pastry school?
When I went to culinary school. When I went to culinary school, I just went to culinary school. I was like, okay, I got a gap year. What am I going to do with my gap year? Yeah. And then it turned into a passion. I was just like, okay, you know what? Why not do this full time? And I loved it. And after I finished culinary school, I think straight after that, my parents were like, there's nothing in Kenya. Why don't you move back? And I was just like, guys, let me just get at least a couple of years experience and then I'm going to move back. And then COVID happened. And obviously,
Yeah. Also, you moved back during COVID?
I moved back during COVID, so right before COVID. And when that happened, I was just like, okay, this is a good way for me to reset and figure out what I truly want and what my vision is going to be for my cafe or whatever I wanted. But that was always the goal.
Okay.
The goal was always to open up a cafe in Nairobi.
So a quick question before you go into the entrepreneurship. Culinary school, because you told me you're a pastry chef. Did you need to learn cooking and culinary in general?
Yeah,
or were
I
you
did.
specifically, how does that work?
Yes, I did. I went to culinary school. I had to. It was a whole year.
Okay.
And that was an experience on its own. Going to culinary school in the UK, I was like the only, it's competitive.
Were you the only hijabi?
I was the only black hijabi.
Wow.
I was only hijabi, yes, but I was the only black hijabi on top of that.
Wow.
In a white-dominated industry.
Obviously.
So even getting a job was really hard.
I can imagine.
It was really hard trying to get a job. I had to go through 13 interviews before I got my first job.
Wow. I don't know. I don't think anybody knows that about you.
No one knows that about me.
Because the thing is, people don't really know the hustle. They just
people
see the
don't
glamour.
know. I feel like my social media is curated at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And when I started off my social media, I was just like, I really don't want people to know anything personal about me or to know me. But now that obviously a lot of people do relate to my story as an entrepreneur, I think this is the perfect time to start opening up and just telling people what my journey is. Yeah.
So coming back to Kenya, how was that?
It was nice. I love Kenya. Kenya's home. I love Kenya.
Okay, so how long were you going for?
I was going for around 5 to 6 years. Yeah.
That's nice.
It was
So
nice.
a lot
Nice
of people
coming back.
actually run to the West. And girl, you decided to come back to Africa.
Okay, do you know what? Yeah, I've lived in London and I've lived in Nairobi. Let me just tell you, if you're used to the soft life, the Western country is not for you.
I always say how I can never move to the West. I don't know about what the future says, but I am so used to the life here.
I know.
And especially now as a mom, I can never.
No, it's
I
hard.
can't imagine.
It's hard readjusting back into it. It's just.
I think it's all independence and I'm not that independent.
Yeah. It is. It's London is just oh my God, you have to get the train, you have to do everything by yourself. That's not even a problem. The taxes. You think Kenya is bad? Try living there.
Oh, I love that. So how long did it take you from the time you came back to actually opening the cafe?
After I came back, I think it took me 2 years and a half, 3 years, almost 2
So
years,
what were
2
you
years
doing
and a
then?
half.
They're just preparing for the...
Well, obviously COVID happened. I was traveling.
Oh, yeah.
I was traveling a lot and I was doing consultancy on the side.
You're actually in Mogadishu, right?
Yeah, I was in Mogadishu.
How was that?
Amazing. During COVID, I was stuck in Mogadishu, by the way, for around 3 months.
Wow.
And that was amazing. That was the best experience ever.
How come?
Loved it. I loved it. Because that was the first time I went back as an adult to Mogadishu. And it was... I don't know. It's just the people. Wherever you go, it's whoever's going to make your trip for you, isn't it?
True,
So I got to meet so many amazing people, and I have amazing friends that live there. So they just made my experience 10 times better.
Actually, the first time I actually went to Somalia was in 2015, and it's just everything about it felt home. I can't explain it, and I always tell to people the time I landed, it just felt like I was home.
Yeah.
Even in the streets, whenever you're walking on the street and everybody's habariyara and everybody's apti, everybody's just, it's just so comfortable.
No, Hamad is amazing. It is. It's really nice. Yeah. But I think going to Somalia, it was such an eye-opening experience because my goal has always been دولكي أكون قناعة
Right.
Somali أكون قناعة Somali وحكسو بسندونا إن شاء الله. You know, like I was such a ودني at
I
that
love
point.
that.
And then I went for 3 months and I was like, yeah, I don't think this is for
Reality
me.
is very
Reality hit me. I
different.
was just like, whoa, I'm way too westernized for this country.
Right.
And it's just like people, like the way people talk and the way people like interact with
their
one
mindset
another.
is a bit different than
It's a
us.
bit different. And sometimes like when you grow up in a household, I grew up in a household where my dad he's very much involved, not only just involved, my dad's very encouraging on doing your own thing. Like he's never limited me in a sense. Like I've always been able to travel, do whatever I wanted to do. And coming, like, I think, quote unquote, like marriage was never like
your goal, like
the
your
ultimate,
biggest,
like
ultimate goal.
the ultimate goal. It was never like, okay, you know what?
That's the way.
That's it. That's what you're meant to do.
Yeah.
Where in Somalia, it's a bit different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where it's just like they see a young entrepreneur girl, they're like, what are you doing with your life?
Right.
Like,
Why are you wasting
really,
it
why are you wasting maha?
Get
or they'll be
married.
like, oh my God, you know what? Why don't you get married? Why don't you get married before you get old? And I'm just like, whoa.
I have things to do.
I was like, relax.
Right? So I wanted Hortico to mention and say congratulations for the launch that you had with the brand Studio Fit.
No, thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
I
thank
saw it
you.
on Instagram. I was like, girl, I'm just clapping. I was like, mashallah, tabarakallah. And it
Thank
really
you.
suits you. I think it's like the perfect collaboration.
Yeah, no, it was because Studio Fit founder Sheila is a good friend of mine, and when we came up with that, they were just like, you know what, I would love to do a modest collection, but I don't know where to start from. So she's helped me, she's guided me through it, and it's been such a wonderful collaboration.
It's actually really beautiful. I hope
thank
you
you.
guys like come up with more.
We're doing more, yeah. We're doing
I would
definitely
love
more,
that.
but of course, you know, like manufacturing in Kenya is really hard,
I
and it is
understand
like
that.
made in Kenya. So
I understand that. No, but
Inshallah.
mashallah, tabarakallah. Honestly, I feel
thank
like it
you.
suits you so well. Because
you.
even the colors that you came up with, like, girl, that is so Bilan.
Yeah,
and
it
I
is.
loved it. Mashallah, tabarakallah. So, how was the whole process? How long did it take? I just want to understand.
It took a couple of months. It took a couple of months because, of course, like us coming up with the ideas, we have the same similar vibe. So it wasn't hard, collaborating or anything. The only thing that took really long is, of course, production.
The manufacturing.
Yeah, production took quite long. So,
Oh, mashallah.
but other than that, it's been an amazing
I saw you
experience.
hinting it here and there before you
Yeah.
actually went to Qatar.
Yes,
Right?
yes, I did.
And I didn't
think-
really know like what the collab
What
was.
is
I was
it?
like,
Everyone got it
there's
wrong.
something was
Everyone
coming.
got it. It was a podcast, I think, that I put up. It was
Oh, yeah,
either
yeah,
a
yeah,
podcast,
yeah.
a fashion collab, or I forgot the third one what it was.
Yeah. I think that was the time you actually was going to Qatar, right?
Yeah, it was the time I was going to Qatar, and everyone. I think the collaboration for a fashion brand was like the least.
Oh, wow.
It was the least, yeah.
Wow.
Shockingly,
I think people just didn't see it coming.
they didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
I felt like this year was one of my goals for this year was to get out of my comfort zone, right? And I feel like as much as I do love running a cafe, I was like, I love fashion.
Yeah.
So why not tap into that as well?
But you honestly, like your fashion sense is so beautiful, especially your
you.
abayas. I
Thank
think
you.
like mostly you see people just wearing like their basic black abayas, which is
Yeah.
amazing at its time.
I used to be like that.
Yeah, but I love that you're not scared of color.
No, I feel like
Yeah.
it's been this year that I've not
Yeah.
been scared of color. I was just like, you know what? Why not get out of my comfort zone?
So where do you get your your fashion sense from?
Where do I get it from?
Yeah, like has it always been there?
I would say, you know what? I've got 4 older sisters. All have completely different styles, which is amazing. My mom's very stylish as well.
Oh, mashallah.
Yeah. So it's been like actually like I think before last year, my mom used to shop for me.
Oh,
All my
wow.
abayas, my mom used to get it for me.
Okay.
So we'd be like, who got this from? I was like, my mom.
Because the thing is, when I first met you,
Yeah.
like you give like Emirati vibes, like those
Really?
girls, like those girls who are like raised in Dubai,
Yeah.
and like the way they dress with their abayas and they're very like luxurious and stuff like that. So when I first met you, I like the first thing that came to my mind is that you're from those Arab countries.
Oh wow.
I don't know if it's because of that.
Maybe it's because I'm manifesting to move there.
Maybe. Maybe.
I'm trying to fit in with the locals before I get there.
I love it. MashaAllah. And traveling.
Yeah.
Traveling is a big part of like, your life.
Yeah, it is. It is a big part.
Tell us.
I love traveling.
Yeah.
Like I think once you start, you can't stop.
Yeah, I know that.
Once you start, but no, I've got 30 under 30 list. I'm on
mashallah.
country number, I just finished 25.
You're so close.
So close. 5 more to go. 5 more to go,
Mashallah.
inshallah.
Mashallah.
So that's been amazing.
How's Qatar? You
Qatar
recently
was
went there for a event?
Yes, we went for Women's in Leadership.
MashaAllah.
And that was just an amazing experience, and I got to experience it with a very good friend of ours.
Yeah.
And alhamdulillah, I think that was such an eye-opening experience for me, especially as a woman. Sometimes we feel like, you know what, we shouldn't get out of our comfort zone, and we should leave a lot of things to men. And I think that comes down from culture. It has nothing to do with our deen.
No, it doesn't.
Islam has always been there telling us, you know what, as women,
strive for the best.
You know, even if you look at the examples that we've been given as women, like Khadija, radiallahu anha, like look at her.
I think a lot of the time, like the culture uses religion to actually, like, you know, tell women, no, but don't do too much. Like, you know, let the man lead you, which is great. But I think Deen is actually trying to protect us. You know, that's the things that, you know, they use against us. Deen is actually trying to, like, you know, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to protect us, like the thing where muhrim. A lot of people say, but why do you need a man to do this? But the whole essence of having a muhrim is to protect you.
No, it is to protect you, definitely.
Safeguard you,
Personally, I don't travel without my mahram.
MashaAllah.
Like, apart from going to the Middle East, which is very safe. Like, if I'm traveling Europe or whatever, I usually go with my brothers.
Which makes sense.
Which, of course, like, or if it's a group of girls, it's a bit different, isn't it? But I try never to travel. I've never traveled, apart from Qatar, but I wouldn't even say that's like a solo trip because there was someone there.
You went as an event. Like,
I went as an event and with my friend was there. But apart from that, like, I've never solo traveled. Like, I've never gone somewhere by myself or anything. I always try to go with a mahram.
MashaAllah.
And it makes such a big difference for your trip. Really on your trip. It
really does. Is there something like memorable on your travels that you want to share?
Something memorable.
Like, out of every place that you went to, maybe something that, you know, like you...
A trip that I really loved?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
There's a time we were talking, I think you mentioned something. Is it Venice or... I don't know if it's France? No?
Italy is beautiful. Italy is beautiful. One of my favorite countries to visit. I love Italy.
Which city did you go to?
I've been to Venice. I've been to Amalfi Coast. I've been to... Rome.
I would love to go to Amalfi.
Overrated. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yes.
Okay. Rome? Do you think Rome is more?
I think Santorini is a lot more beautiful than Amalfi Coast. Yeah, and the food is better at Santorini.
Love it. But Santorini is in Greece, though.
It's in Greece. Yeah. Oh, mashallah. If you were to pick, if you want to go,
girl,
go to Santorini first.
I'll always pick Italy because I love the Italian food. I love.
Do you know what? Yeah,
but
Italian food in Italy is not that great.
Really?
It's okay. Especially if you're not used to eating al dente.
Oh yeah, okay. I know. I love al dente.
Okay, if you're good then. But yeah,
I think I grew up, and my husband is from Italy, by the way.
Okay, so you're good. You have a good tour guide then.
We're such an al dente family.
But yeah, Italians are good, nice people. They are. I think Italy is beautiful. I think the trip that I loved the most was Lisbon, Portugal.
What did you like about it?
Such a beautiful city.
Oh, wow.
The food is amazing. I'm big on brunch. I love my brunch.
Me too.
So best brunch, definitely Portugal.
So you touched on your social media.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, you know, like how most of the time you give like soft life.
Yeah.
And I love that. But you know the way like entrepreneurship and you know like who you are in general, like it's very like, you know, tough.
Yeah.
How can you like, you know, switch off the entrepreneurship, you know, like hats?
And then just be myself.
On Instagram.
On Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I had my social media before I became an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So I've always like wanted to also share my other experiences apart from me being an entrepreneur. Like that's just not like my identity.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we kind of lose ourselves.
Yeah.
It's like, I think I got asked this question. They were like, who are you apart from who you are, like your job for you as a person? And sometimes it's so hard to differentiate the two, isn't it?
I think people forget,
Yeah, they'll be like, the first thing they will be talking about is like career. I'm this, I'm that. Where it's just like, okay.
You are a lot more than that. Because you know we're complex people.
Yeah, we are. We are a lot more than who, like, you know, our work and whatever we do. So like social media is just and my outlet.
I
just
love
to
it.
show people, you know what? Yeah, as a Muslim girl, you
I
know,
love
you can
it.
live soft life too.
I love it. Where do you get the inspiration from? Because I feel like it's so pretty, so aesthetic. Even remember last time when I was
Yeah.
telling you about how you always even put your oud thing in the
In
car.
my car, yeah.
And every time I see it, I'm like, girl, mashallah, you're living the life. I love it. I love it for you.
You know how you said I remind you of the Emirati girls? That's my inspiration. Because I just love it. I love their aesthetics.
Because I
the
don't
way
even
they
remember the
live
view. I think you
yeah.
put it like on the
on
top
my
of the
phone
car.
on top of the car. Yeah,
I loved it.
I love it. Like, that's like my vibe. My vibe has always been very minimalist, chic. Yeah, classic. That's always been me.
And talking about that, because I can see that you always like to romanticize your life.
Yes.
Even when it comes to flowers and I saw you remember that video that you did when you're picking the flowers or something?
Yeah,
in the garden. It's so pretty. Anyways, I love that you romanticize your life like that.
Yeah.
Is that very intentional?
It is very intentional. I think these are like things that I've always liked. Yeah, from a very young age.
Yeah.
Like from a very young age, I've been hosting, like especially for like family and my mom. My mom always had my mom has so many friends, so she always be like, okay, you know what, my friend is coming over. Why don't you do the table setting? And then every time I would try to come up with something new and try that's where my love for hosting started off from. And then it was like started hosting my friends and my loved ones and everyone. And I was just like, okay, that started becoming a hobby of mine. And then of course with flower arrangement, it came with that. Yeah.
So were you always like hosting even before you started the cafe?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've been hosting.
Because even your cafes, because obviously I'm a client of yours
Of
in
course,
mode.
yeah.
I'm always there. But I also recently went to Café Cassia.
How is it?
It was beautiful, honestly. And the reason why I ask is even not only the aesthetics, but you always also add the prayer rooms.
Yes.
And I love that it's so not only aesthetically pleasing, but it's also very thoughtful, culturally, and even so that you can also make the space feel, what is it called?
Intentional?
Yeah, intentional, even for the Muslim community, so we can always have a place to pray. How did that come about? Because not a lot of places you see that.
You don't see that, yeah. When I was doing my market research for Mode, I went through quite a few cafes. At that time, there wasn't a lot of cafes, so it was just like CJ's, Java, Bristol & Co. There was just like a few cafes.
Yeah.
And one thing that I noticed is like every time it reaches prayer time, I'm looking for somewhere to pray. I always had a prayer mat in my car.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, okay, I need to go pray, get my prayer mat, pray next to my car or something. And I found it so inconvenient.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, you know what? As especially a lot of Muslim owned cafes or restaurants, they didn't have a prayer room. And I was like, okay, for my cafe, I would want that person, whatever. I mean,
whoever is
my
coming
customer to come into
my
my cafe, I want them to be working from there.
Yeah.
So if you're going to work from there, you're going to always, of course, align yourself with your prayer time as a Muslim.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want someone to leave and then they'll have to come back, and it's so inconvenient for them.
Yeah.
And why not just have a prayer room there? I need a prayer room to
sense.
pray.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It honestly makes sense because for me, the prayer room is just as important as the bathrooms.
Of course, yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you need a bathroom to get to a time where duhur comes on and you need to pray.
Yeah, you need
and
to
I
pray.
love that you can do that because when the first time I went to Mood, and I actually didn't know that you guys had a prayer room, and when Salah time, I was like, it's so convenient.
Yeah, it is.
Because mashallah, you could just easily go take wudu and just pray there.
Yeah.
So mashallah, no kudos for you on that.
Well, thank you.
Honestly, for a young girl, not everybody thinks of small things like that. And that's the whole point of when you're starting a business, you try to solve a problem.
Yes, you do.
And
of course, yeah,
honestly,
you do try to solve a problem.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
So how was it what is it called, starting the cafe? Was it a big? Do you think it was a big leap that you could take? Was the whole process quite difficult?
It was quite difficult because, of course, moving back to Kenya was, of course, a big change. Of course, working in a hospitality industry in the UK and in Kenya,
And the standards
is completely different, right? And then training my staff, I think that wasn't too difficult.
Okay.
I did develop my own menu, trained my staff. And when I opened, I it was a soft opening. We opened mode. I was just like, okay, you know what? It's going to be a soft opening. No, like, I don't know how this is going to be. I don't know if it's going to work out. If it's not, like, let me just see how it is. Like, you know, it was one of those things where it's just like, okay, you know what? I've been talking about having a cafe for so long. All my friends were just getting bored of me. My family, everyone's just like, okay, Bilan, can you just do it?
You could do it.
You know?
Mashallah.
And then I got to do it. And I was just like, okay, I don't know if people are going to come and enjoy my space. I don't know if people are going to like it. Let me just see how it is. So it was just like the first month we had like a limited menu and we were just like, it was a soft launch. And a lot of people showed out.
MashaAllah.
A lot of people showed out. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Right.
It was so overwhelming. It was so overwhelming because I was underprepared. I was so underprepared.
Yeah.
And I think through social media and everyone knowing me, they had such a high expectation. But for me, it was like, okay, you know what? I don't know if this is going to work out or not.
Yeah.
And why didn't I just start off small and then just build my menu up? And it was an experience for sure. It was an experience.
MashaAllah. I think a lot of the time, like, it's always a leap of faith.
It is a leap of faith.
You can never know how it turns out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you do it, you can't really know what happens, right?
Exactly. You never know. And I had so many people come support me, and I even made friends through that journey. So alhamdulillah, it's been an amazing experience.
MashaAllah.
Getting to run a team for the first time, like a team, especially a lot of the team members being a lot older than me, was quite hard to navigate. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of hard. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I had to call my mom to
To vent.
my mom had to come, and if I needed her to yell at someone, I'd be like, Hoya, please,
Come here.
I can't do it. They were so terrified of my mother.
Because, you know,
I was just
nobody
like,
teaches you those things.
yeah, no one does. No one does. And as much as my siblings have helped me, alhamdulillah, so grateful for them. My siblings helped me so much, especially when I opened up. But me having to learn to be assertive, I am quite an assertive person. But in the workspace at the beginning, it was kind of hard because I was just like, oh my God, like, you know, I'm in charge of these people, and on the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to ask me so many questions and how I treated my staff. It's so much responsibility. So I was like so overwhelmed with that. And then I was just like, I don't want to treat people badly. But then I had to reach a point where I was just like, I have to really be assertive and not cross the line. Because I wanted to be like the nice boss. Like, you know, working environment is chilled. Everyone's going to like everyone. You know, we're going to get all along. It's kumbaya. Kumbaya did not work. And then I had to learn how to be assertive and, you know, have structure in my company. And
would you say that was like your biggest challenge, especially in the first year?
It was my biggest challenge. Of course, like, I was getting to know the market. This was a completely different market for me. I was getting to know the suppliers. I was getting to know people, customer service, management, and, like, you know, my business is a reflection of me. So anything goes wrong with mode, it's, you know, the first person you're going to blame is me. Because you see me on social media. You'll be like, okay, you know what? I got bad service from there. You know, it's, you know, you should do better. But sometimes it's like, as much as you can train your staff, as much as you can have structure in your company, it happens. And it's not intentional.
I love that. So how did you go from running one cafe? Girl, that's already hectic. I can imagine.
I love stress.
I can see that. To opening another one, because you opened Café Cassia. What was it? A year after?
A year after.
Yeah, a year after. How was that?
2 years after. 2 years after. Almost 2 years after. That was a different experience.
But you had a little bit of, like, you know, experience.
It was a breeze. I'm not gonna lie. It was a breeze. Opening cafe compared to mode, I knew exactly what I was doing. I feel like when you have structure in your first company, it's easier for you to multiply. And it was a lot easier.
Do you think it's like getting that structure is the most difficult part?
It is the most difficult part because no one's telling you what to do. It's very hard, especially at that time. I didn't know any female-owned cafe owner when I first opened.
Now there's so many, mashallah.
Now there's so many, mashallah. Now there's, wallahi, mashallah. I love to see it. And at that point, it was just like, I didn't know who to reach out, who's going to help me. Because a lot of people do like to gatekeep. Which I do understand on gatekeeping. Because of course, like, you don't want someone to copy your business at the end of the day. But, like, there's no one who's going to actually guide you and tell you, you know what, like, this is where you can get your supplies from. And, you know, this is what you should do when something happens or anything. There are a few people
that
I do
little
reach out to.
guidance here and there, I think
That little guidance
it really,
here
really
and there,
helps.
it really does help.
Yeah.
I think I've gotten that from my family, alhamdulillah. Like my siblings are all entrepreneurs, so they have guided me.
Mashallah.
But someone in the industry, the same industry as me, I don't really know that many people. Now I do, but back then,
Yeah. I think Mo just turned 3, right?
Yeah, Mo turned
and
3.
Cassia is 1.
Is 1
now.
Yeah.
Wow, girl. Mashallah, tabarakallah. I feel like now, do you feel like you are a bit more stable, like, settled? Do you think the business is like, doing a bit well and you can, let loose?
No, alhamdulillah. Like I've got an amazing team. Mashallah. Like, my business wouldn't be where it is if I didn't have good staff. Mashallah. Alhamdulillah, which I'm very grateful for. And it's a bit more chilled now. I'm a bit more relaxed, I think. As I was telling you before we started the podcast, I was like, 3 years ago, like my life was so different from now. I feel like this year I've been so chilled and relaxed. Alhamdulillah. And 3 years ago, I was just like, it was just hectic.
Yeah,
I was imagine. I was on edge all the time. And alhamdulillah, I'm not in that state anymore. And I think it just comes with starting a business, tapping into the unknown. You don't know how people are going to react to it.
Entrepreneurship is unknown.
It is unknown. It is unknown. With entrepreneurship, you have to really be delusional.
You really do, because either way you really need to believe yourself to a point where because a lot of challenges will come through.
A lot of people, even before I opened, when I barely told anyone I was opening up. Actually, I told my friends like a few weeks before I opened.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that intentional?
It was intentional. Like they knew I was going to open up something. I think like my closest friends, a month, 2 months. I told them.
Yeah.
But majority of people just found out like a few weeks before I opened up. A week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks before I opened up. And do you know what it is? Like I believe in, if I want to do something, I'm going to do it.
Do it
right?
either way, yeah.
If I tell people I'm going to do something, they're probably going to sway me not to do it.
And it's natural.
And it is natural.
Yeah.
So I try not to do it. Like even like people closest to me were like, oh, are you sure this is something you want to do? And I was like, I'm going to do it and it's going to be successful. Like I'm that type of person where I'm just like, I don't go half in when I'm doing something. It has to be 100%.
But that's the best way, because that's the only way you can move forward.
If
you rethink it and you overthink it, you'll never accomplish anything.
No, you're not.
So talking about like entrepreneurship, you recently started Founder's Diary on your social media. Can you tell us what that is about?
Founder's Diary is just an outlet for me to. I have a lot of young women who follow me on social media. I meet a lot of young girls who want to start their own business, want to become an entrepreneur, and it's just my outlet on telling people, you know what, this is what you should expect and this is what you should do and this is my journey and this is how I'm dealing with things. And a lot of things are just normal. You having to learn on the job, it's normal. You starting a business where you're not 100% sure, that's normal. You being terrified, that's normal. Like, sometimes with social media, as much as like everything is curated, we forget that, there's no relatability sometimes, right? And we have to like relate to people, like we have to tell them
on a personal
level, like how you can accomplish these things without gatekeeping, and especially there's not a lot of Muslim women on social media who are entrepreneurs, who are talking about it.
No, honestly, I feel like entrepreneurship is already so hard, and the fact that you don't really have a blueprint and you don't really even hear people talking about it and like sharing their story, I think it's wonderful.
No, it is wonderful. I think as there's not a lot of women in entrepreneurship, so of course like trying to find a mentor is one of the hardest things. So what would you tell somebody who's trying to start a business but just don't know where to begin? Or that fear, even people who are actually scared of starting. No, don't be scared. Like it's being scared is normal. Like all of us are scared. If I'm doing something out of my comfort zone, I'm terrified. But just do it. There's not going to be a perfect time. There's not going to be a perfect place. Just do it. If you've got something in your mind, don't prolong it. Just go for it.
Just start. And you were actually you were, I think, one of the speakers at Somali CEO, I think maybe a year ago or something?
A year ago, yes.
How was that?
That was a good experience.
yeah.
That was definitely a good experience.
MashaAllah. So if you could go back time, like, go back in time, what advice would you give your, like, before you actually started your business? If you had something to be like, okay, Bilan, I want you to know this before you go ahead.
Wow. What I would tell myself before I started my business is I think it's easier to say I have tawakkul than believing it,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we're so unsure about something and
But you just
we
put
forget
that
that Allah
trust.
subhanahu wa ta'ala is right next to us. Like, He's there when we call him.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing where it's just like people would disappoint you.
Yeah.
And that's normal. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put something in your heart, He put it in your heart for a reason.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
And just surrounding yourself with good people, and that's easier said than done. Finding your community, finding your tribe, and having people who support you and you support them. Because as much as we say, like this person, we want people to support us. Do we support people? Are we part of our community? Do we help others?
True.
So
I love that.
That's one
No,
thing.
mashallah, honestly, that's very profound. And I love that, like as Muslims, no matter what we do, we always bring it back to, like our tawakkul and, like our beliefs and look, our deen. It's such a grounding thing.
Yeah, it is. It is grounding.
Mashallah. So, do you think running your business has changed your life?
100%.
Or how you see things, even how you see money.
100% has changed my life. Running my business. How I see money?
Yeah,
it's definitely changed how I see money. I think as an entrepreneur, every entrepreneur would tell you they'll pay their salaries and sometimes you might not pay yourself.
Yeah.
And that's very normal, It's very normal. I think after I started my business, I'm very careful with how I spend my money.
I can imagine.
How I save my money.
You know where everything, where every shilling comes from.
It is. I know where every shilling comes from. How I invest my money is completely different. Yeah.
I love that. And talk to me about leadership. Well, what do you think, like being an entrepreneur, how do you think that has changed the way you see leadership? Especially at your age, because I think you started quite young and you're still very young.
Yeah.
Like, how does leadership, how do you see that right now?
I feel like leadership is, I don't know, like, it depends with your upbringing, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to leadership, it's very, I don't know how to explain it to people. Because sometimes, as much as we say, like, you are a born leader, it also comes down to how you were brought up. How your parents raised you. Did they raise you to be assertive? Did they raise you to be independent? Did they raise you to always get out of your comfort zone?
And was it an example of the leader? Yeah.
Exactly. So when it comes to leadership and running your team on everything, it's just like, I don't think everyone is meant to be a leader. And that's perfect. And that's perfectly fine. If it makes you uncomfortable, that's perfectly fine. And I feel like leadership is it's one of those things where you have to really get out of your comfort zone.
Wow.
You really have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to be an example. You have to be an example to other people. So are you ready to be that example or step up or, work on yourself, ask yourself the tough questions. Yeah.
Makes sense. So there's a quote that I saw on your Instagram that I really loved.
Yeah.
And it said, stop worrying about how it's going to happen and start believing it will. What does that mean to you personally?
It does. It comes down to tawakkul, isn't it? It comes down to that where it's just like, you can't always worry about something you've already done. It's happened. How can you move forward from that? And I think a lot of us dwell on our past mistakes rather than forgiving ourselves and moving on and thinking about the next step.
True. Because I think a lot of the time we always, I don't know, I'm not an entrepreneur, but one thing I know about my personal life, whenever I fall short, I always look at what did I do? Why did I do that? And how come I did that? Like, am I not better? Or instead of looking at it at a point where, like, okay, this happened.
Yeah.
What can I learn from it?
Yeah. And it's like that was meant to happen for you
Yeah.
to learn.
Exactly.
And I think sometimes we're so hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's like you just learn to have to forgive yourself and just take a breathe.
Do you think?
Move on to
Do
the
you think it's
next.
because as women we're very hard on ourselves in general?
As women, we are.
Yeah.
I think society is hard on us. I think we are hard on ourselves. As women, like
Yeah.
we judge one another a lot.
So true. It's
And
powerful.
it's just like sometimes it's just like, okay, like, you know what? Like that's everyone has their own personal journey. And it's like if that person has chosen to do X, Y, and Z, that's up to them.
Yeah.
All you can do as a friend or all you can do as a friend is just guide a person. Yeah.
That is so true. And this time where I was reading something and how I don't know if it's a podcast I was listening to, and it said of how as women whenever like something happens and
Yeah.
something negative happens, we always take it personally. We always be like, I did that wrong, or I was not ready for that. Or if, for example, you even lose a job, you're like,
Yeah.
okay, it was me. I was the one who was not either good enough or whatever it is. But then men, they always see it as, oh, maybe if they, for example, they're not given the job, they're like, oh, maybe that company was not ready.
They weren't ready for me.
Yeah, they
Men
were
are
not ready
so
for me.
delusional.
I love
Men are
it.
so delusional.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, why don't we think like them sometimes?
Exactly. I think we always say we're not good enough.
We're not good enough. We always have these doubts. We have these feelings. And it comes down to our hormones as
Yeah.
well. It comes
Yeah,
down
yeah.
to society. It comes down to a lot of things. But like men, honestly, even if they get a rejection, they'll be like, nope. You know what? I'm better than this.
Yeah.
But as women, we're like, oh my God, like, why did this company say no to me? Like, what is it that's wrong with me? Am I not good enough? And it's just like, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, you're not meant for everyone, and that's perfectly fine.
That's totally fine.
Yeah.
No, I love that because honestly, for me, I say every time, like
job.
you should always learn from like men
Yeah.
and what they do. Not always it has to be like men versus women, but at the
Yeah.
same time, have that guy who tells you like, no, this is not the way it's supposed to be. Like maybe do this, and they give you a completely different viewpoint.
Yeah.
And you see things
but
differently.
don't you find it like, I feel like it's really hard to find a female mentor.
It really is.
It really is.
Yeah.
Because a lot of mentors that I've had are men.
Amen. Yeah.
It's very, very rare to find a female mentor.
There's this one time I was talking to this lady, and another girl wanted her to be her mentor, and she was telling me about how, like, she's already juggling a lot, and as women we juggle a lot. We are
do.
either mothers or like daughters as well, because you have a lot of responsibilities. Whether
Do you
it's your
feel
own
like
home.
we have a lot of responsibilities? Sorry to cut you
Yeah,
off.
it's okay.
Yeah. Do you feel like we have a lot of responsibilities because of other people, or it's a burden that we put on ourselves?
I think a little bit of both.
Yeah.
A little bit of both, because yes, we do put on so much burden on ourselves that is unnecessary. Because I even have there's this girl that I know who, like, as a mom, she even takes on so much, and I'm like, what is? I don't want to say what's the point, but because I get, like, being very, very present for your kids,
Of course,
but at the
yeah.
same time, it's okay for somebody else to.
There's the mom guilt, isn't it?
Exactly. I'm like, but it's okay for you to let go and for you to do other things that you're passionate about. And also, about what you asked, I think also our community and our society are very hard on women.
Yeah.
Like, we always put so much pressure on women, and we're like, she needs to do this, she needs to be the perfect wife, she needs to be the perfect mom. Like, how could she go to work and leave her daughter at home? Every time I'm out, my family members, I love them, but damn, every time I'm out, honestly, they're always the only one question I always get is, who did you leave your daughter to? And I'm like, do they ever ask this question to
a
my
man.
husband?
No. But do you know what it is? Yeah. As women, we need to, like, stop listening to people we don't really care for.
That's
if
so
that
true.
person is not somebody who we aspire to be, why do we care about their opinion?
Right, that's so true. Because honestly, at the end of the day, like, pressure is there.
Yeah.
So you just need to see what is right for you.
Exactly.
And honestly, you do what's right for you, what's right for your family, and whatever that looks it shouldn't really matter to other people, right?
It doesn't, because it's up to you. It's your life at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
That person has just a point of view because they're probably miserable with their own life, and they see you wanting to get out of your comfort zone and do so much for yourself, and that's something they can't do for themselves, so they just want to put you down.
Yeah. Sometimes do you think, especially when it comes to your business or even in life, do you think there are some decisions maybe that you've made that a lot of people didn't agree with and you've had to stand your ground?
First one was definitely opening my business. Where it was just like, oh my God, do you really want to do that? It's going to be so much burden. Like, you already like working in a bakery was so hard for you. Do you want to like run your own cafe or anything? That was hard. But apart from that, no, not really. I think everyone in my life is very supportive.
I love
my
that.
mom's a very much like, a strong, independent woman. So she's always raised us to be strong, independent women.
MashaAllah. I love that. So I think we are towards the end. I always like to ask people, is there a book or a podcast or like anything like that you would like to recommend to anyone?
I would recommend Diary of a CEO, right? You get to see the journeys of so many different founders. I think that's
There's also another one
podcast.
called Founders.
There is. There's
one called Founders as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's older than Diary of a CEO or nearly the same time. I'm not sure. But that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Are you a book reader?
I like to say I am, but I'm not going to lie to you. I try my best, but not really.
Yeah, I think time. I love reading too, but these days, honestly, I rarely
life
have
just
the
gets
time.
too busy.
It really
Sometimes I'm
just like, I think that's it. Is there anything else that you would like to share?
I don't think there's anything else I'd like to share.
What is it called? A parting message.
A parting message.
For the girls.
You put me on the spot.
Yeah, right?
You didn't tell me to prepare for this.
Girl. Now, what would you tell like anybody listening?
Anyone listening, my advice to you is, live your life.
Yeah.
You only live one life. Try and do everything. If you're not married, try and do everything before you get married. And inshallah khair.
Yeah, no, mashallah. Girl, look at you. Just put it, dropping gems.
Yeah.
I love that. No, honestly, that's the best advice. Because either way, what I would add is live your life whether or not you're married.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't, marriage it doesn't need to stop you.
Marriage should be a plus.
Yeah, exactly. It should make your life easier.
Should make your life easier.
Yeah, because, then you have another person who's your companion who helps you through things, who, I don't like to say, like the way everybody's like, I want a 50-50 thing. And I'm not talking about like finances.
I know, yeah.
I like it to be like, give it 100 and also get a person who also gives it 100. So you can both push each other.
I feel like marriage is a completely different conversation.
Ooh, girl.
If I go into this,
girl,
I think I'll get cancer. They feel like she hates men. But no, I feel like marriage is one of those things where you should do it. You should know the reason why you're getting married,
I always
right?
say that too.
And a lot of people get married because of status, society, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But the main reason for you wanting to get married should be for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah.
It's for you to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah.
It's for you to complete half of your deen, right?
That is so true.
And marriage is difficult.
It really is.
I've got all my older siblings are married and have kids.
Mashallah.
And marriage is not easy.
It's not.
It's not.
It's beautiful in its own way.
It's not easy.
But it's not easy at all.
So if you don't know yourself, and you don't have boundaries right now and you want to get married, it's just going to be so hard for you.
It really is.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming,
Thank
Bilan.
you.
I would loved having you here. And
I
your
loved
journey
it.
is just so beautiful. Honestly, I feel like you're such an inspiration to a lot of young girls.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having this podcast.
Thank you. Honestly, it was, girl.
No, I'm really glad you did it. So, mashallah, congratulations on that. This is a big milestone.
Thank you so much, Habibti. And inshallah, maybe we can have other conversations, right?
Inshallah, maybe they can let us know what they would like to hear.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for being here until the end.
Yeah.
I will let Bilan tell us where we can find you.
You can find me on my social media. So it's Bilan Kasim on Instagram and on TikTok. And I think I've got my email on there as well.
Yeah.
So any collaborations or anything, you can just email me.
Love that. And
Yes.
please make sure you go check out Mode. and Café Cassia. Such beautiful spaces, right?
No,
Mashallah,
thank you so
tabarakallah.
much.
Thank you. Okay, you guys, this is the end. Thank you so much for being here. And make sure you're subscribed. If you have anything that you want to say to Bilan, or do you have any questions for her, please make sure that you put it in the comment section, inshallah. And until next time, Assalamu alaikum.